Hi there, welcome to Homebrew Wednesday. Just going to be a very short video this week because life has been incredibly busy. I still haven't had time to do anything with my mead, and I haven't had time to make any other wine or any other alcoholic beverages which we love to homebrew. There has, however, been a couple of interesting changes over the last week. One of which is, unfortunately, the test Melomel, the very first one, the one that was sort of a strange little test batch. It was made with 1 jar of honey, rather than the same ratios that I used with the others. And the one where the yeast didn't quite work, so I had to add a bit extra. Basically, the strange little test one. Yeah, it didn't really work in the end. I opened it up the other day. I was thinking about bottling it. Opened it up, tried a little taste of it, and it was horribly sharp. It smelled a bit funny, and basically, as after a very small taste of it, knew it was not right. I think basically air had gotten into it and it had gone off. It probably hadn't been that nice to begin with, from the way it smelled and the very small sampling I took of it when I originally bottled it into the large flask. After I racked it. But yeah, so I had to tip that, unfortunately. However, and here is the one good thing that's happened in the last week. The main mead, clarified completely. All the sediment at the bottom has stopped. The air seems to have more or less stopped out of the top, and it's completely clarified, which is great. So I'm leaving that for the moment. I'm just going to all I'm going to do is, some point over the next wee while, I'm going to bottle that as soon as possible, as soon as I can get my hands on bottles and a spare couple of hours. In the meantime, I've also got my other Melomel. As you can see, that's just sitting there quite happily. What I'm probably going to do, my general plan at this stage, is I'm going to take the small 2-litre jugs, the scrumpy jugs with the screw cap lids, and I'm going to rack the other Melomel into both of those once I've sanitised them and all the equipment. The thought being that, to be honest, I can tape the top of it, because the fermentation's finished now. I can screw top it and then tape it, and that'll keep it completely sound, and then I can just store it somewhere at room temperature where it's out of the way, stick it under the bed or something, and just leave it where it can happily age for at least 6 months, and then I could worry about it come winter. As I said, with the proper mead, because the proper mead was a slightly better recipe, and to be honest, the entire whole shaboodle has worked out so much better, I think what I'll do with that is bottle that into wine bottles. But that'll be happening hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Again, I can't promise anything. Apologies for the general lack of things going on, but unfortunately that's just been crazy life at the moment. Too many other things going on, not enough time for homebrewing. What I really need to do is, as I've said several times, I need to get my beer sorted out, my beer kit, and my beer equipment, and get cracked on with that, because I know there's a lot of people who are interested in seeing that, and a lot of people who I know locally who are interested in tasting that. And I have actually accumulated by this point something in the realm of about 30 or 40 beer bottles, and a corking, and a crown capper, and a lot of crown caps. So there's going to be no problems with the beer and getting that sorted out. But I just feel that with the mead and the Melomel, I really don't want to put that in a beer bottle. I really want to put that into a wine bottle where it's going to be properly sealed in a decent size of bottle. I don't really want to end up using 20 odd bottles of beer bottle sizes, 500ml bottles, for storing the Melomel and the mead, because I'll end up using loads of them. It's a pain to store them then. I'd far rather stick them in 6 bottles of wine, which I then stick in a wine rack. Anyway, that's really all I've got to say this week. We'll hopefully have far more interesting things for you next week. What I may do is, if I don't actually have any physical work that I've done, that I've filmed, what I'll probably do is do a couple of little videos just talking about some of the principles of homebrewing, some of the equipment that people maybe don't realise on what it's for, and maybe explain some of the more esoteric terms. So until then, that's all from me. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, and take care. Cheers.